What happens when the sun goes down and visibility disappears? For most people, night brings confusion, fear, and vulnerability. But during World War II, night was something else entirely. It was an opportunity, a weapon, a test of skill, discipline, and mindset, the final siren. Because those who understood how to operate in darkness gained a powerful advantage, and those who didn't became easy targets. In this video, we're breaking down World War II night survival techniques, real methods used in high-risk conditions that can still be applied today. The reality of night operations. Night changes everything. Visibility drops, movement slows, sounds become sharper, fear increases. Even experienced individuals struggled in darkness. But those who trained for it learned something important. The night doesn't weaken you. It exposes your weaknesses. Technique 1. Protect your night vision. One of the first rules of operating at night: preserve your ability to see. During World War II, individuals learned to avoid bright lights, shield their eyes from sudden flashes, and adjust gradually to darkness. It takes time for your eyes to adapt, often up to 20 to 30 minutes. A single bright light can destroy that adaptation instantly. That's why light discipline was critical. Flashlights were covered or limited, fires were controlled carefully. Your eyes are your primary tool at night. Protect them. Technique 2. Move slowly and deliberately. Speed, well, that's dangerous in the dark. At night, depth perception is reduced, you know. Obstacles are just harder to see, and noise becomes more noticeable. During the war, movement techniques really emphasized slow, careful steps. Feeling the ground before placing your weight and avoiding sudden movements. Controlled movement, it reduces risk, plain and simple. Technique 3. Use shadows to your advantage. Darkness isn't uniform, not by a long shot. There are deep shadows, light patches, and, of course, silhouettes. Survivors learn to stay within shadows, avoid open, lit areas, and move along the darker routes. Silhouetting, standing against a lighter background, makes you visible, right? So, positioning matters. Where you stand can determine whether you're seen or not. Technique 4. Stay low and blend in. At night, shapes and outlines really stand out. So individuals avoided upright movement in open areas and sharp, unnatural shapes. Instead, they stayed low, used terrain for cover, and blended into their surroundings. The goal wasn't just darkness, it was invisibility. Technique 5. Control noise. You know, sound actually travels much farther at night. With less background noise around, footsteps become louder, equipment rattles, and even the smallest mistakes can really echo. During the Second World War, techniques focused on securing gear tightly, moving as quietly as possible, and communicating only in whispers or with signals. Noise discipline, honestly, is just as important as visual concealment. Technique 6. Communicate without speaking. See, talking can easily give away your position. So individuals relied on hand signals, pre-planned gestures, and even light taps or, subtle cues. Clear communication systems were always established before any movement because, well, confusion in the dark leads to mistakes. Technique 7. Know your terrain. Operating at night without a solid understanding of your environment is frankly risky. Those who survived took the time to study the terrain during daylight, memorize key features, and identified safe routes. At night, you really don't have time to figure things out on the fly. You rely completely on what you already know. Technique 8. Limit light exposure. Light reveals your position instantly, you know. Even small sources like matches, flashlights and cigarettes could be seen from quite a distance. WWII survivors shielded light sources, used minimal illumination, and avoided unnecessary light altogether. Light equals visibility. And well, visibility equals risk. Technique 9. Use your other senses. When vision is limited, your other senses really become critical. At night, hearing becomes sharper, smell can provide clues, and touch helps with navigation. Survivors trained themselves to listen carefully, detect subtle changes, and trust their instincts. Your senses, in a way, become your awareness system. Technique 10. Stay oriented. It's easy to become disoriented in the dark, you know. Without clear reference points, direction can be lost and routes become confusing. WWII techniques included using landmarks, tracking movement direction, and maintaining awareness of position. Losing orientation can lead to some serious problems. Technique 11. Control your fear. Darkness, you know, it really increases fear. Limited visibility triggers the imagination, anxiety, and a whole lot of uncertainty. Those who survived controlled their breathing, focused on their tasks, and did their best to maintain composure. Fear is natural, of course, but it must be managed. Technique 12. Move at the right time. Timing really matters at night. Movement often occurred during the darkest hours and when conditions favoured concealment. But sometimes, well, waiting was better. Knowing when to move and when to stay still is absolutely critical. Technique 13. Rest and rotate. Night operations are, honestly, exhausting. Fatigue reduces awareness, coordination, and decision-making. WWII survivors manage their energy by taking short rests, rotating responsibilities, and avoiding overexertion. Endurance, in the end, really does matter. Technique 14. Maintain discipline. You see, darkness can, well, create quite a bit of confusion. Without discipline, mistakes increase and coordination just breaks down. Strong discipline ensured that procedures were followed, mistakes were minimized, and focus was maintained. Technique 15. Avoid predictable patterns. Predictability, you know, creates vulnerability. Survivors avoided repeating routes, using the same timing and establishing patterns. Unpredictability, well, it increases safety. Technique 16. Stay mentally sharp. Fatigue and darkness, they really do affect thinking. Survivors stayed sharp by staying focused on tasks, avoiding distractions, and maintaining awareness. Mental clarity, especially at night, is absolutely critical. Technique 17. Prepare before darkness. Preparation is everything, you know. Before nightfall, equipment was checked, routes were planned, and signals were established. Once darkness falls, well, that's when all that preparation really pays off. Technique 18. Use cover and terrain. Natural features provide protection. It's as simple as that. At night, survivors used trees, rocks and terrain dips. These offered concealment, protection and even a handy navigation reference. Technique 19. Stay patient. Rushing at night leads to mistakes, plain and simple. Survivors took their time, avoided unnecessary risks, and waited when needed. Patience, honestly, improves survival. Technique 20. Trust your training. In darkness, you rely on instinct. That instinct comes from practice, experience and repetition. The more you train, the more natural it becomes. Bringing it all together now. Let's simplify the core principles. Protect your vision, move slowly, use shadows, stay low, control noise, communicate quietly, know your terrain, limit light, use your senses, stay oriented, control fear, move with timing, manage energy, maintain discipline, avoid patterns, stay sharp, prepare ahead, use cover, be patient and trust your training. These really are the foundations of night survival. Final thoughts. Night doesn't have to be a disadvantage. In fact, for those who understand it, it becomes an advantage. Because most people fear the dark, move poorly in it and lose control under pressure. But those who train for it stay calm, move effectively and think clearly. And that difference honestly matters. Because survival isn't about perfect conditions. It's about performing under difficult ones. So if you want to build real capability, start training your mindset. Practice moving in low light. Improve your awareness. Control your fear. Because when the lights go out, the ones who are prepared are the ones who stay in control.